Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
I want to give you a heads up about OMAT Club, Chemda's 1 minute at a time club. What this means is in your VIP package, you'll see OMAT is described and you can click on it and hear what's going on right now on your own. OMAT Club, you get up, you see, or the end of your day, whatever it is, 7 a.m., 10 a.m. Eastern time. And Chemda walks you through each of these steps that better your life. Am I explaining it right?
Yeah, I think you're getting it. It's 8-minute long exercises that you could do on your own, 1 minute at a time, or you could join the club and do 15 minutes where all of them are at a time.
The 7 a.m. Eastern time OMAT membership will be ending in 4 weeks. So if you want to sign up for the final 4 weeks of OMAT Club at 7 a.m. Eastern time, sign up now. KeithandTheGirl.com/OMAT, O-M-A-T. KeithandTheGirl.com/OMAT. We'll see you there. Chemda, how you doing?
Good. I'm OMATing my face off.
You're loving it. You still love it. Yeah. People love it.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I don't want to get too far into it. I think people have heard me talk about it before. It really is the exercises and the philosophies that I've used to get over some deep, dark situations in my life. So instead of falling into the major depression and then the major mania, I was able to stay a little more level.
Chemda did all the work. She read the books, watched the videos.
Yeah, I'm not saying this cures bipolar or that I was or am bipolar, just to be clear, because I feel like now when you just say things like, I get sad and I get hyper sometimes, they're like, bipolar, get your meds, go get diagnosed. And I'm like, okay, not everybody's bipolar, but I have some tendencies.
It's safe to say that you're a fucking mess. And this is great news, this OMAT Club.
Thank you.
Today's guest, ladies and gentlemen, he's the host of Ambush in New York City. That'll be coming back, in the new old world any day now. You love him. He's a lovable guy. He's lovable. Lucas Connolly.
Hey, thanks for having me. Love to be seen, love to be heard.
I do love this behind the scenes stuff where our guest is on mute for a little while, but they're either listening or not. And I say the guests that are listening, you see their faces react, and that's going to be a good time. The guests that are like, when am I being introduced? I'm bored already. What's happening? Those are going to be a little bit more of, we got to lay it up a little more. How are you, Lucas?
I'm doing good. I can't. So what is that? I feel like it's like, I don't want to keep the ad going, but it's like, I'm very interested about what this mat is. Is there a mat?
It is OMAT. It stands for 1 minute at a time. And there are exercises like we plank for a minute, we give gratitude for a minute, we meditate and focus on the breath for a minute, we write for a minute. There's 8 total exercises. And I put out a podcast behind our paywall where you can go through one of the minutes. I guide it for a minute, and then you could just do it every day. And then every week you start a new minute, or you could do it however you like. But all the exercises are 1 minute. The idea is that you just want to get started. So if you just wake up one morning, it's like, I don't have a minute for anything. While you're peeing, you give gratitude for a minute, and that's your entire exercise for the day. Then the next day you try again for a week. The week after, you try the breathing thing for a week. And I have a guided thing.
Great.
In the,
so no mats. That's really the there's no mat involved with OMAT. All right.
You don't need a mat. How are you, by the way? You have a lot of anxiety. How are you holding up? How do you take care of your mental health?
Man, I don't.
Oh, you see his haircut.
Yeah, I took out my ball clips and I put them to my head. And
when you cut your own hair like that, I don't know how to describe to the audience like that, but it's you would say that. You'd say, quote, like that. Does your girlfriend of 4 years say, okay?
Like my girlfriend loves it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think it looks cool. Don't get me wrong, but you could be mistaken for a lovable Nazi. If that ever existed, it's in your face.
Yeah. And thankfully, I have this NPR beta voice that makes everyone go, okay, yeah, I don't know what's wrong with him, but it's definitely not a Nazi.
Not a lot of aggro in there.
Yeah. They're like, I'm like, he's like an artist. Like, that's what they do. Ugh.
I used, I'd say OMAT ideas yesterday. My internet went down. And I mean, it's the pandemic. It's all we got. Right?
How you gonna binge and play games on your phone at the same time?
Yeah. So I'm like, all right, let's think. What am I grateful for? Well, of course, the four walls. Okay, which are kind of dirty, quite frankly. Let me spend the day cleaning up. And it is so, man, cleaning and organizing. What is more soul draining? You know?
Woo.
So
I was gonna say, what's more satisfying?
Oh my
Okay,
God. When
you
it's
first.
done, sure.
Yeah.
But I literally did clean 1 minute at a time. I'm organizing the cleaning products and bags under my sink for the first time in I don't know how long. I needed a break. I don't know how this is my girlfriend's love language. This is organizing is crazy. I
love love language. My love language is when my girlfriend lets me win the argument. So,
that's cute. My boyfriend's love language is when I blow him. So each their own.
Wow. I should tell my girlfriend. So, somebody's love language is fellatio. So
well, first it's when the internet's out, you keep forgetting the internet's out. So you're like, okay, well, I'll watch TV. No TV. I watch it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna jerk off. So I get my Oculus, gear. I do it in 3D VR, Lucas. And it's the best. I put a towel down on my couch. I get my lube. I get my headset. It's gonna be a big. Nope, internet's still out. Yeah, internet's still out. So you want to talk about the walk of shame? Putting back your VR and your towel and your lube. That's the ultimate walk of shame.
Wait.
So I go back to cleaning.
All right. So let's go back. So,
sure.
First, why is Lucas blushing for you?
I can't believe that. To me, it's so much work, right? To me, I'm like, I need to masturbate because I need to fix the problem that's broken inside of me, like immediately. I'm not gonna go and be like, well, I need to go get all my kit. You know what I mean?
I have a little suitcase.
I'm not getting all my stuff. I'm like, I need to release right now to fix the problem right now. I'm not getting out the goggles. Like, I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not figuring it. But guys are like, oh, if I had a fleshlight, which thank God I've never owned, I would never clean it. You know what I mean? Like, it would just be disgusting and it would probably cut up my wiener, right? With all the
dryness.
Yeah, with all the dry semen in it. Like, it's I can't even imagine the idea of being like, you know what? I'm really worth it. You should go get out the thing, and you should go, I don't even look at, I just click on whatever the top corner is on YouPorn. I'm like, this is it. I'm not even searching for anything.
Wow.
I need it to be over. Yeah.
That's never gone wrong where you just click on that and you're like, oh, this is a challenge now.
In general, the top left corner, the only thing that's wrong with it is that they'll be like, it's just like normal fucking, except maybe it says stepsister. You know what I mean? Like the only thing wrong about it is the word up there, but they're not stepsisters. Or even if they are, they're not genetic. Who gives a shit, right?
Right. Also, I noticed in the titles, they just make up titles.
Yeah.
It's the same video, sometimes with different titles. And the woman, of course, has 25 adjectives and fucks a dude.
Right. And that is the thing that there was some study that came out recently that said that people would put two videos online, one that would say stepsister, or they would say like interracial, or whatever the thing is that is hot at the moment. And that would get them more views on that video, even if that wasn't even going on.
Yeah, I was watching the one I wanted to see. I was able to see the title, and it says "Guy fucks stepsister on off time. Stepsister catches up on WandaVision." It had nothing to do with trying to trick me.
I do like the way you describe masturbation is just getting this poison out. Like, I think even when you're with a partner, the masturbation times are for like, this isn't for you. I don't want to do this for you. I got some garbage in there. And we're gonna let that loose, and then I'm gonna love you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the goggles and stuff. I'm like, if you're gonna spend all that time, you could have just I could have made a meal for my girlfriend and then flirted. It's the same fucking amount of time.
Right.
I could have flirted. Keith is flirting with his VR. Mm-hmm. Keith, you could have had a real interaction, but you put goggles on.
Well, so but it was a bummer. So I had to put everything away, blow out the candles, and go on about my day. You know.
Also, I think it's weird that you are willing to put on goggles, but you're not going to get yourself toys either. You're just going to use your hand too. Like, to me, it's like if you're going to do the whole thing, you got to do the whole thing.
Yeah, but you're like an extreme person.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I was like, wait, you're going to just do heroin, but not shoot heroin?
Right. If the Oculus maybe made like toys or something, but I don't buy third-party stuff. No. It's
Yeah.
If you're not jerking off in a way that possibly could send you to rehab, Lucas is like, why are you bothering doing anything?
Yeah.
Like, Lucas would be into S&M, except he doesn't want to put on the gear and take off the gear.
You understand me so well. I'm like, yeah, it's hot technically if I could just show up and let it happen, but what am I, rich? Like, that's
when you get money, that's going to be interesting.
Oh my God. I think that's what I've thought that multiple times. The only reason why no one wants to like give me big money is they're just like, Lucas is going to spend this in the worst ways possible.
Oh, that's going to be so fun.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to have that dominatrix step on me. I'm like, that's all.
With Jimmy Choos.
Yeah, exactly. And then I could just leave.
If you're gonna bother recharging and putting on a goggle, I don't see why you wouldn't just hire a woman to step on your balls. Well, I don't know, Lucas. This is where I found my space.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Your space seems seems kind of like meditation. It seems like a lot of work, and then at the end of the day, you're still broken. You know.
Wow.
It's funny how I never realized.
How's sobriety going, Lucas?
Right.
I'm doing good.
Eyes just popped out. Do you have any? What?
Yeah. You guys have any hope? Because I would need some hope. That's what I'm craving.
I'm sorry, but if I give you a little bit of the hope, you're going to want all of the hope and then the outfits for the hope. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah. All of a sudden, I'm going to start telling people I prayed and good things started happening.
We don't want that.
I have no idea. I'm always surprised that things cost what they cost. And you can get an Oculus for $300. And I thought maybe it wouldn't be that good. I just want to try it out. It's amazing. Obviously, I come to it. And then I bought an area rug for the first time. That's like $100. And I'm like, it's a piece of cloth. What? Do people talk to each other about money? Then I go to buy a vacuum cleaner for the first time in years, $40. I'm like, what? I thought I'd have to take out a loan for a vacuum cleaner. I don't know what is what, and people could be tricking me up and down the block.
So Keith, no one talks about money. It is actually one of the greatest problems I think humankind has. It's like people are under earning constantly, and it's only because no one will tell each other what's going on. Like, I don't tell you, like, you guys don't tell people how much you guys make. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a thing you guys regularly do. You know, like, I don't say that. I always play I'm poor, but like, I might be doing better than a lot of people.
And that's the thing. Like, there's regular poor, very poor. There's TV poor, which bothers me so much, especially when they depict New York City apartments. We just watched another movie where this couple is like, we can't afford blah, 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 but they live in Brooklyn by the bridge with access to their roof, private access, in a 2-bedroom. And they're like, we really have to keep within budget. I'm like, you live in a mansion in Brooklyn. Yes. And then like people move here and they're like, where's my, Carrie apartment? Where's the friend's apartment? And I'm like, you have to murder someone to be there. Like, we all understand anybody with that great an apartment has killed. Thank you.
Right. That's oh God. Yeah. So yeah, I've been really looking at it. That's like been my thing in the last 4 months. It was like classically looking at myself and being like, whoa. Because like the pandemic happened and I realized that I have so many friends that have great passive income jobs. And I was just hustling from one gig to another little gig to another little gig to another little gig, and then was like, oh yeah, I don't have a podcast that makes me money. I don't have a web series that gets me YouTube money. I don't have an album.
What did you decide to do?
Jack off made me feel better.
yeah. mostly look at other people under a very angry gaze. I'm like, wait, you're jerking off?
Have you thought of doing OnlyFans?
Oh, exactly. Oh, yeah. I thought about doing it, but then I also thought, I don't think of myself as a product people want to see.
So what did you do?
I started practicing drawing again because I thought, wouldn't it be cool if I had like a coloring book or I had a book of some sort that could just always be trying to get sold.
Did you do it?
Yeah, it sounds.
I've been working on it.
How long have you been working on it? Oh, he froze just then. Isn't that perfect?
Let's not get into it. All of pandemic, kind of.
All of pandemic. All right. Set a date.
Yeah, well, it froze because I was lying, bookend it. Yeah.
All right, when is this book going to be done?
I don't know.
You fucked up.
I'm looking at the calendar.
Yeah, and it's so busy. I'm so busy. Let's see, I have this, and then later I'm cooking veal for my girlfriend after I jerk off.
Yeah,
When's it done?
I'm learning how to make a sous vide.
Cool.
July
1st?
Sure.
Okay, look out for Lucas's finished product July 1st, or his girlfriend will no longer respect him, and neither will you. That's fantastic. We'll check in with you. Here, I'm going to write
it in my calendar right now.
I'm putting it in my calendar, and you're going to be booked again, and we're going to check up on you.
Oh, my
Great.
God. Can't wait.
Excellent. Good to see you.
Okay, thanks, guys.
You can follow Lucas on Twitter, Lovable Lucas. And speaking of Zoom, was there anything to this, Lucas? You wrote, you ever just ruin a Zoom call? Send.
Yeah.
What happened that day? Do you remember?
God, who knows?
Okay.
I ruined Zooms though. I'm terrible on Zoom comedy shows. I'm so bad because I just always find the one square of the one person that's just a little isn't into me, and I just stare at them, and it just oh man.
I saw a Zoom show where they left the audience mics on, which you would think the comic would need for laughter, but people aren't really paying attention when they're in their house. And I heard the comic make a joke, and then the listeners, their face pops on because they started talking. They go, I don't get what the fuck they're trying to say.
Oh.
I legit said, wow, that didn't get any laughs. That's legit. Someone said that to the other person after a joke I just said.
Oh, wow.
So how did you ruin it? What did you do?
Well, I said something that they didn't like, and the thing was, I said, COVID's been bad, but at least it killed a lot of old Republicans.
Okay. I can see why.
Yeah. It didn't hit, and I understand why.
You do.
I learned my lesson, but what is a Zoom show supposed to be for? Just for me to run the 10 minutes I know works again?
So what happened after that?
I logged off.
Yeah, I collapsed, and I watched while my set was happening, people just leaving.
How about comedians do this? Set up something in case it goes south where it looks like you're being robbed in your house and you got to go.
See, I have thought that again and again.
Yeah.
I have thought, I just don't understand. Everyone has masks on, but there's no heists. There should be so many more heists. You can walk into a place now. You can walk into a bank with a mask. Back in the day, if you walked into a bank with a mask, you were fucking getting shot immediately.
Well, that's what was part of what was so crazy about the storming the Capitol. It's the one day where you could have the most got away with it, with the mask on and the hat and covering yourself completely. That would have been the closest to getting away with it that you could have done. But you're an idiot.
All right. They caught all of you. Yeah. Here's another tweet that I liked from Lucas. I'm so good at sex that after I was done doing this, chick, she just rolled off me and just started masturbating.
Woo! True story. I feel like every guy has been there sometime. I think it was right when they realized that they're I think there's this point in everyone's life when they think they're bad. Then they start thinking that they're good. Then they realize that they actually have always been bad.
Right.
And that was that time when I was like, oh yeah, I thought I was good. Turns out I just don't come like immediately anymore, but that doesn't make me good at this.
She's masturbating. You're like, oh, look, you had a little more in you, honey. Yeah, a little more. Yeah.
And it also was like, I saw what you just did, and I don't trust you to do this. Right. So
you rest, honey.
yeah.
You just take your time. Yeah.
Pat.
Lucas says, every time someone finishes grace, I like to add abortion is murder before the amen, just in case anyone forgot.
People love it. People loved it. The one person was like, it's not very funny. They got all mad. And I was like, yeah, it is a joke. I'm so sorry.
Thank you for, I'm glad we can all get together and for this food and the nice weather. Amen. Abortion is murder.
Right.
Thank you, Lord.
It's just so funny. I just want people to not invite me to Thanksgiving anymore.
I also think like you can't do drugs or alcohol anymore, right? So you got to poke the bear somehow, it seems. You just have to you just have to bother someone and then go, okay, I can sleep now.
Right. I'm like, what's going to be my habit for the day? Right. I have to have a habit. And if it's like something that no one gives a shit about, like, wait, your habit is just ruining interaction at the dog park.
Yeah. You got to ruin something just to get the fix. Yeah.
So we have this new dog and so people will just be like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, yeah, my dog has a really terrible cum face, right? Because he looks, he like, when he runs around, his lips go all the way up, right? And he's like it's so bad. And these fucking poor dog people don't know what to do. They're like losing.
In all fairness, and I'm all for like the, weird jokes, but I don't know you. And you just said come.
Yeah, I also have a mask and they have a mask. And so we'll never know each other.
I guess, but can you also stand 6 feet from me as you tell me about whatever your dog is coming to? Like, why are we even chatting up close? Wave at my dog and then wave at me goodbye.
Well, you obviously don't have a dog and haven't went to a dog park. Your dog is running around and it is eventually you're like, this is kind of boring.
Wow, you're really into this dog.
Let me mention this. I feel like it's good timing. Brook Linen. They have sheets for your bed. They have towels so your bathroom seems like a spa. They have comforters. They have everything. You don't know how to get your woman off? This will do it 3/4 of the time. I'm telling you that. I know by history. Brook Linen creates beautiful, high quality bedding and home essentials. They work directly with the manufacturers. That gets you a fair price. No middlemen, no markups. You know what I'm talking about.
I not only have their sheets, I have their towels, and I have a couple of the towels, and they are my favorite. So good. They're big and fluffy and warm. Love it.
Pillows, duvet covers. Treat yourself to the ultimate, especially now during a pandemic. You're not treating yourself right? Come on now.
Self-care.
Self-care. Treat yourself to the ultimate comfort with Brook Linen's Comforter Collection. Go to brooklinen.com. Use promo code POUND, P-O-U-N-D. That's right, Lucas. Get $25 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's Brooklinen, BROOKLINEN.com. Enter promo code POUND for $25 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's brooklinen.com. Promo code POUND, short, of course, for Pound Town. And you'll like what's going on. And I've been big fans for some years now.
Yeah, and if after you wash your sheets, they look like they need a wash, like it's like, oh no, it's clean, it's just a perma stain.
Right.
Consider getting new sheets. Okay.
Yes. Come on now. Speaking of dogs, you saw that perhaps Lady Gaga had a dog walker who was shot 4 times in the chest. 2 of the 3 dogs stolen.
Yeah, Ronnie Fleming sent it to me, and I was like, "Are you jealous of that dog walker?"
Because you're still alive?
Because he's a dog walker, and he was like, "This could have been me."
You're killing it out there, Lucas. You're destroying lives, not, in comedy.
So
but, like,
sorry. Yeah.
you're like, what's the worst thing I could say? Always. You're one of the
Always.
most liberal thinkers that I know. Am I right? And you're just like,
Yeah,
what can
I
I say
try.
that's awful right now?
If it makes you feel better, what I do smile really big. So
Oh, so it's extra creepy. Okay,
yeah.
thank you.
So they all know. They all know that I hope this is funny.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure that helps.
And who else smiled like that? The Joker.
Yeah, that guy's a hero.
Oh no.
He
Ryan
earned
Fish.
all the money.
Boy, don't we have a BetterHelp ad today? BetterHelp.com/KATG.
I would love.
You know what? This is a good point, Lucas.
Uh-huh.
BetterHelp, HELP. Maybe like things are rattling around in your brain, and you don't know how to place it. Just so, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get some fucking goddamn help. Get some therapy. Okay, Lucas. Yeah, I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to the audience. There might be some Lucases out there. I'll go through all the names: Chad, Serena, Mike,
Cindy,
Angie. I said Lucas, right?
Yeah.
All right. You can start communicating with somebody. Get professional help within 48 hours. Hemda uses them. Hemda loves them. You could visit their website to see the reviews. BetterHelp.com/reviews. You're gonna see they're beloved. BetterHelp.com/KATG is where you can go to join over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. In fact, so many people are using BetterHelp that they're recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. So listen to this, Lucas. Get 10% off your first month at BetterHelp, HELP.com/KATG. All right.
And I do believe when you put out that coloring book, you're going to save up, throw a couple pounds at the BetterHelp, Better Sheets. I think you'll be doing okay.
I really hope so. I was thinking this. My therapist dumped me recently, and I need a new therapist.
Now we understand.
Yeah.
They're allowed to do that?
Technically, when they leave when they go to private practice and you have Obamacare,
they're not beholden.
That's called dumping to me.
Right. Did you say like, how can I follow you? And they're like, don't worry about it. Life is crazy.
They're like, do you have the money for that? And I go, oh yeah, I don't have the money for that.
Right. But I don't like when they phrase it that way, because I've had it where my doctor left the office, that particular space where he worked. So I'm like, okay, so can I see one of your other doctors? I still have to see a doctor. I'm calling you. You sold me. Okay. Even though I hate you all, except for this doctor who left to Florida. But okay, what do I do now? And they're like, well, I don't know. It depends on if you have the right insurance. Like, oh, we'll get to that. How about, yes, we'd love to care for you. Why don't you tell me what your insurance is? Not, yeah, if you pass the club poll. Thank you. What kind of weird healthcare is that?
This is the second, and it feels like a very New York thing where I've had therapists dump me. I never have had this ever before. So the last time I got dumped by a therapist, my insurance lapsed, and their boss called me and was like, hey, your insurance lapsed a month ago, right? I wasn't using my insurance, so I didn't realize that it lapsed. And they're just like, so you went and had 4 appointments. And I don't know if you know this, but the appointments are $200 an appointment.
Yeah.
Normally without your insurance. So I'll make you a deal. And about for $400, you just want to give me $400 for the lapsed thing.
And then you were like, oh, you're dumping me? Bye.
And I said, wait, so you just didn't run my insurance the first day? For the first session, you made me do an entire month and then pulled this on, and now you're giving me a discount immediately? You're not even fighting. Like,
did you actually say that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Oh, I was like, are you serious? She's like, what do you mean? I go, you know, there's the reason why I go to you guys, right? It's because I pay $0 to go see you.
Right. You go, you know who you are, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. I go, yeah, I could have went to maybe a $200 an hour therapist, but you guys aren't that.
Right.
I know what this is. This is a graduate who just got out of college and this is their first job, and I know exactly what I have. And so then I go into my therapist the next session when my insurance clicks back in. Yeah.
Right.
And I tell her the story exactly like how I told her how assertive I was. And she goes, what? She goes, our sessions aren't $200.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God.
She goes, the sessions here are there. He goes, they are $100. I normally get, and then she explained it. She goes, I make $40.
Oh no. Oh no.
A session. And I was like it was like no. And then she goes, I think she has a terrible Adderall problem. And then all of a sudden for the rest of the appointment, it was like I was the therapist and my therapist was turned into a thing, and she just rambled about how much of a crazy person she was and how this is like the 6th time she's tried to like shake down a person and that she's probably gonna have to go find a new job. And I'm like, I left and I like called my girlfriend and I go, I don't know. Can I sue? I don't know what just happened, but
did you say that was that was worth $40? Did you say that to her?
They owe you at least $200, and the way that they're operating, you can decide that that's $500 an hour. They didn't ask.
Right? I could not believe it. So she made up a number to get the number she will needed.
Oh, I see. Oh my God. Oh my God. Did you pay any of it?
None of it.
Excellent.
I threatened to call the Better Business Bureau on her. That's what I did.
What a empty threat.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like, that's what I said. I go, I'm a comedian who does nothing all day. I have all the time in the world to call. It's like, if you want to actually send me some paperwork, I have all day to.
I'm a stay-at-home boyfriend. Okay. I got time. I'm making veal all day, bitch.
Yeah.
I do feel like all this is the plot to the Joker, though. I really do.
It is the beginning. Yeah, this is why I want to burn money, because I can't get free therapy.
So getting back to Lady Gaga's dogs, Ryan Fisher, 30 years old, the dog walker, was walking Gaga's beloved dogs Koji, Miss Asia, and Gustav in West Hollywood around 10 p.m. yesterday night when he was shot.
I don't like Miss Asia as a name for anything.
That's fair.
Unless you're a character on RuPaul, I don't want that name.
Miss Asia did escape. Koji and Gustav were collected up. They're all bulldogs.
What a bad murderer. You actually murdered the dog walker and one dog got away. Like what are you going to do with the other two dogs?
The dog walker didn't die.
Oh, that's good. But what a day for dog walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. It's currently unclear whether Gaga's dogs were specifically targeted, but French bulldogs are in high demand. They sell for as much as $10,000 if they have a pedigree lineage. Excuse me. Gaga 34 is offering a $500,000 reward for
not
the
for
safe return of Gustav and Koji. No questions asked. Yeah, she's not worried too much about the dog walker.
Dog walkers come and go. A Koji, that's a 10-year commitment.
Right.
Is she offering $500,000 for that guy's medical bills? Because if you're walking Lady Gaga's dogs, you might not have the insurance that gives you a great deductible.
Right.
Yeah.
Surveillance footage captured from neighbor's home shows a white sedan pulling up alongside the 30-year-old. 2 men dressed in dark clothing climbed out of the back seat. One of the men heard cocking a pistol as they stormed towards Fisher, said, "Give it up." Fisher is heard crying no and shrieking out in horror for someone to help him as he attempts to fend off the assailants.
Oh, no.
They start fighting for the dogs.
Oh, so he deserves to get shot.
Stop it. First of all, you're cocking a gun and saying, "Give it up." I'm like, what? My clothes, my wallet, the dogs?
Exactly.
Right.
Whatever.
He knew. He must be my $500,000 dogs.
Right. Like, what is... Yeah, I guess you do know you're walking all this money, but the police are saying they're not sure if the dogs were targeted.
If they knew it was Lady Gaga's dog, if they knew this could be $1 million dogs.
Well, they just thought it was a dog, but it's just a good pedigree.
3 nice, beautiful dogs. Yeah.
I guess it's a Beverly Hills, right? It's
Right.
So any dog is just.
it's probably a purebred, so it's probably easy to sell.
But
I love the idea of like, Hi Sun TV, like, oh, I got these diamonds, and it's like, now what? You have to know the guy or woman, whatever, who will quietly convert these diamonds into money, and then that'll be good for them too. So the same with this, like, you are involved. If you're shooting someone to get dogs, you know exactly who to sell it for, and you're making a lot of money on it. Then those people, I assume, are walking Lady Gaga's dogs. And I guess a dog looks like a dog, but I feel like people would know.
I feel like if I was those dog thieves, and it happened, I would be like, oh, whoops, and then I would just dump them and like die.
I'm sorry, what?
DYE. You would change their hair color.
Yeah, I would just be like, dunk, and then be like, wow, I have my poodles now.
Pink.
Right. The LAPD is upset though because that she's offering such a high reward because they believe it opens the market for criminals to start stealing celebrity dogs and returning them for high ransoms. $500,000's a lot of money.
That's a good point.
You just keep stealing Lady Gaga's dogs and giving them back next Thursday. Hey,
Right.
Still no questions asked, right? I gotta start asking questions.
It does make you start thinking that you need like a Ray Donovan dog walker, like
Right.
I just love how much we're hearing about these dogs, but this man was shot 3 times in the chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but WAG will replace him. I'm sure he got paid a whopping $15 an hour.
Yeah, it's just I need these dogs back. No questions asked. The guys in the ICU be like, maybe one question. Maybe ask a question. $500,000 deserves one question.
Also, before I walked one of your dogs, I had to answer several questions, including a background check, right? You
Right.
can't just walk. First of all, you can't just walk a dog. WAG or whatever other service makes you go through a little bit of something. Not that it means a ton, but it's there. Imagine it's Lady Gaga's thing, but now this guy doesn't have to answer any questions.
Or you're a family member of a family member of this guy or loved one of this guy, and you just read, yeah, no questions need to be asked. She'll take the dogs back. What? I think my brother deserves an answer.
It's funny that I'm hoping there's a quote later in that where she shows any kind of emotion towards this guy who nearly died, because here it's like, anything for my dogs. I don't know what I'm gonna do, and it's like, man got shot. Okay.
I read this article and I'm on like page. It was on my phone, so I'm on like page 3. I'd say that's above the fold, and there was no mention about the caring for the dog.
Fuck! Your fucking near-death experience was overshadowed by dogs. I know there are a lot of dog lovers out there that are like, dogs are like my first baby. Okay, but they're not, because this is a human being who died because they were walking your dog.
He had a normal name though. What was his name again? Ryan. That's not Gustav and Miss Asia.
I'd shoot someone just if they told me their name was Ryan.
Really letting it loose, Lucas. Who's bothering you at home? Are you and your girlfriend having trouble?
There's only her. There's no one else to fight with. So I come on these podcasts and I'm like, who am I fighting with? Ryan's?
This poor woman, you're trying all of your material out on her. You know you are. And it's the worst. It's like she just tells you about dinner and you tell her about choking on it, but it's a joke and you're trying to just push the line. And she's like, oh my God, when are you going to be able to go do open mics and shows? Fuck. Yeah. Is that happening at dinner?
Oh, it was more just like, hey, I know suicide's funny to you, but you have nothing going on in your life and you might have a good reason to be suicidal. Like, right. Okay.
I like this girlfriend. Lucas, is there anything you want to talk about to a therapist or an audience, not me?
Right. Former Britney Spears backup dancer Columbus Short, he went on to star in the ABC show Scandal, was revealed as revealing intimate details about when he dated Britney Spears.
Oh, that's so nice of him.
That's so fun. It's nice to have just the reveal truths about people.
He short claims in his 2020 autobiography, Short Stories, that Spears pursued him in 2003 when we worked as a dancer. He's previously said that they were romantic and that the affair broke up his marriage. Well, that happens sometimes when you date one of the biggest celebrities in the whole world. It might harm your marriage.
Wait, were you married at the time? Because that might break up your marriage.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He alleges that at one point, quote, I was next to Britney while she was on the phone with her parents, crying while she had it on speaker. The parents asked, why are you fucking that N-word? And said the real word. Britney's looking at me so apologetically, knowing I'd heard it. I shook my head and didn't say anything because what was there to say?
Fair enough.
I wasn't shocked when it happened. Look where they're from. They're from Louisiana. The way it came out was so effortless. Like that's how they speak. I wasn't shocked and I wasn't hurt by it. I was just like, wow, this is okay. I know who I am around here.
Is this his writing?
This is him during an interview, in all fairness.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's fair.
Because they have black bodyguards. Because they have black bodyguards doesn't mean that behind closed doors they don't use that word. After I felt
this guy's a writer. I guess he's not a talker because this is.
Wait, they had bodyguard? The parents had bodyguards?
He's saying even though the parents hire black bodyguards, it doesn't mean they respect black people.
I don't know who was thinking that.
Right?
Yeah.
You got him because they were scary to you.
Yeah, I'm also would be surprised that they hired any black person, you know?
Right.
After racists hire black people. It's just like, but now I'm your master. You know what I mean? I'm the boss.
Yeah.
That's not the greatest dynamic.
He says in this interview with Inside Hollywood, after that, I felt like maybe Britney was using me to piss them off for some reason. I love Britney to this day. I feel bad for her. I wish the world knew the Britney I knew, which was a Sweet Home Wrecker, I guess. He didn't specify.
Okay, Keith.
I don't know.
Okay.
It's just funny. I knew who she was.
They should take away her kids. That's for sure.
He didn't specify who used the offending word. If you're going to write a book, he's not a good writer either. Who used the word on the phone?
What's the difference, mom or dad? It doesn't matter. Her parents said it.
He didn't
specify.
I mean,
he should say it because it's part of the story, or don't say it at all.
Spears' mother, Lynn, told us in a statement, I want to be very clear. Those terrible words are not remotely in my vocabulary.
Okay.
I would never say that to anyone, much less my daughter, ever. Yeah, she said it.
Much less my daughter?
I wouldn't say it to anybody. Certainly wouldn't say it to my daughter.
Oh, so it's just, it's like saying fuck to you. Like, I wouldn't say that, especially not in front of mixed company.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if I have caveats.
Yeah, I would never say it unless I'm driving.
Especially not to a cop.
Yeah, exactly.
A source close to Spears' father, Jamie, said Jamie was not there and not involved. In fact, during this time period, Jamie was not involved in Britney's business at all. How do you put together the time period?
Exactly. I think we're all like, I guess. I don't know. I didn't know that there was a time where he wasn't involved.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, right. According to the fake documentary. What a documentary of garbage.
Right.
According to the documentary, though, the mom had been with her a lot, but I don't think that means he wasn't behind the scenes in charge of all the financial and, booking and all that stuff. I think she was... And also, wasn't it that guardian that was going around with her all the time?
It's so hard to keep track, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Britney.
Holly weird. Tell me what you think about this, Kenta. Lucas, shut up. No, both of you. Tell me what you think. Protesters will demonstrate outside 30 Rock in Manhattan on Saturday as outrage mounts over a Saturday Night Live joke about vaccinations in Israel. Quote, we're going to NBC to educate, not crucify anybody. Okay, first of all, like your so-called Jesus. Okay, all right. We're going to NBC to educate, not to crucify anybody. We're going there to say this is not funny, says former Brooklyn Assemblyman Dov Hikian. Anti-Semitism is never funny, period. Of course, we'll tell you the joke. He and Sid Rosenberg, co-host of WABC's Bernie and Sid in the Morning, will lead the 9 p.m. protest outside NBC's headquarters.
So far, this sounds like a waste of breathing on each other, but okay.
Yep.
SNL's Weekend Update co-host Michael Che has drawn fire for the following joke. Israel is reporting that they vaccinated half of their population. I'm going to guess it's the Jewish half.
Okay.
That's it.
That's
The vast majority of Israel's population, 74%, is Jewish. Vaccination rates among Israeli Arabs are lower, partly due to widespread distrust. The Anti-Defamation League said the joke was based on factual inaccuracies and played, quote, into an anti-Semitic trope in the process.
Who gives a shit? That was a
It's just-
throwaway from Michael J. He almost probably
Yes.
didn't say it. It was such a dumb fucking joke.
It's pretty
Also,
dumb.
he says a
Yeah.
lot of things about a lot of people in different races, male-female relationships. His co-host is married to what's-her-face, the famous person. They're cracking jokes about their relationship and how he's a piece of shit. This is such a waste of energy.
Yeah,
This is
they heard
why-
a buzzword. They went, Jewish? That's
Right.
all they heard. They heard the word Jew and they went, I'm offended. They didn't even fucking give it a chance.
And
Not
also,
even a real joke.
I've been to Israel,
Oh boy.
and the Jewish and the Arabs, spoiler, I don't think they're passing vaccination to each other, quite frankly. I've been to the Wailing Wall, that holy prayer wall, and even there they're spitting on each other. Fuck you, fuck you. I'm like, if God's anywhere, he's here. He's at this wall. This is his favorite place to scoop up prayers in the whole world.
Mike
Yeah,
Lawrence, when he was in Israel, he was like, he went and visited with him and his wife, and he was like, I gotta go and try to do comedy while I'm here one night. And he
Right.
went and he goes, it was the most racist show I've ever been to in my entire life. I've never seen more offensive race space. It was like anti-Palestine to the extreme.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way people are like, I was reading a story, two girls, they're women, they're like 30 or 40, but they dressed up like old people to cut line in the vaccine. Some Arabs are going to have to put on a couple curly cues, get up in there. It's true.
I am so offended as a person who was born in Israel. Could you not? And I didn't even hear what Keith said. I'm just like offended. It's not actually the comedy in Israel. I went a long time ago also, but it definitely was Ashkenazi Jews are like this and Sephardic Jews are like this. And it's very similar to old school. White people are like this and black people are like this. It's the same. It's like, oh, you ever date like as a Middle East, as a Sephardic Jew, you ever date an Ashkenazi Jew and you go over to their house and they're having all of their basically bland food with bland, they're wearing bland shit. And then they come over to your house and your mother's, cooking on a spit in the outside and like all that shit, and it's cute because if you're getting along, because no one's from Israel. If I go to Israel, they say, where are you from? Even if I'm speaking Hebrew, because we're all from different countries. So if you get along and you understand the culture, then it could be funny. But as Muslims and Jews, I grew up Jewish. Muslims were on the shit list. I understood them. Like if I were to date a Muslim, I don't even know how I would mention that around my parents. It would be the worst.
Well, I remember you mentioned, what's the story where your dad you're a kid in the car, drove past a car accident?
No, you were there. That was you.
Oh, was I there?
One.
Oh, and I
Yeah.
didn't know what he said.
Oh, yeah. They tell Arab. The thing is like, I'm Arab. My parents are from Iraq. Muslim is the actual thing, but they might call him Arab for sure. It's like a little confusing, but yeah, they have all these jokes about just the other side, quote unquote. It's always been there on the other side. We've been fighting them forever. It's been decades, and you always know someone who's been in a war against these people. So it's their enemy.
You want to go, Lucas, to SNL at 9 p.m. on Saturday, and we dress up as certain cultures and do a little skit?
I would love to do that, just because I am there to crucify Michael Che. You don't acknowledge me when we walk by the street, and we used to do open mics. So time to get crucified, motherfucker.
How are they? What are their signs gonna say? Like you're protesting a 5-second joke.
Right.
Yeah.
They do give the vaccination to everybody. What's on this picket?
Jokes.
Right. And then they ran out of room.
Yeah, exactly.
We give everyone the vaccine. We don't care. What? We're not checking if you believe with God. No. How could we even begin to do that?
Yeah.
We just give it. We're very generous.
It's like, I love you. Like, oh, it's
Great. Now we're actually being the offensive.
hey,
I'm just telling you, if I go to that protest, even to see what's going on, I'm not lifting a chair. I'm done being the only guy that's really doing the lifting. Fuck that. I see you, motherfucker.
I'm in the chair.
Yeah, I'm in the chair during this protest. You pieces of shit. Lucas does his show Ambush any day now, every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Well, now you do it on Zoom, right? Every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time.
Yes.
So check it out. I it's exciting to see. People don't know when they have their cameras on. They say things that shouldn't go through. It's very fun to check out. Where do people log in for this Wild West show?
We have an Eventbrite. You can go just follow me on Instagram. I post every a new flyer that I draw.
Oh, well, I guess you won't be drawing anymore because you're busy with your coloring book. So that'll be interesting.
The Instagram is Lovable Lucas 1 because he's the best. He's number 1.
Now, I don't know why I do this with the July 1st thing, because what ends up happening is the comic stops responding because I'll get back to her when this really happens. And then 6 months later, they're like, "Dear Chemda, it wasn't personal. I just couldn't get my shit together and I was embarrassed." Anyway, Lucas, we're coming for you. July 1st.
This is maybe the best thing that could ever happen to me. I had a therapist in rehab that was all like, used me as an example once. He was all like, it goes, look, when someone tells you to make your bed and pray every day, not everyone's going to do it. Like Lucas, he's never going to do that shit. And now, 15 years later, still pray every day.
Oh, Lucas will never get this done. See you July 1st.
Yeah. Lucas is a big human piece of dog shit. Right, guys? Is this how this works?
Yeah. I'm like, okay, I'm going to prove to them. Because I don't really care about the work. I only care about fucking proving people wrong.
You're forever a teenager. I'm contrarian. This doesn't work for me if it works for everybody else. I got to say the opposite.
I have an anarchist cookbook. I won't read it, though.
What does this say? Panko? I'm going to use breadcrumbs. Fuck you.
Don't forget, of course, KeithAndTheGirl.com/VIP. If you're on our free app at /app, you can click right there on OMAT and hear everything that's going on. Work it on your own time. And of course, it's every show we've ever done. It's all these spin-off episodes. Recently, I mentioned Daddy Issues. If you never got into that, that's a real good time.
Lucas is on one of the spin-offs about addiction.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. That story was crazy. You are actually, after that fucking teenage life, you are allowed to say contrarian things for 2 more years, and then that's it. Then you gotta figure some other shit out, Lucas.
Yeah, I always said once I get gray in my hair, I'm gonna change
my personality.
But as long as people think I'm a hot teen, I'm being crazy.
Oh, is that what they're thinking?
Well, speaking of VIP, last week is one of those spin-off shows. It comes out every Monday with Rod and Karen Murrow, and they do a fantastic job. And we'll be summing up all the craziness that happened. We had a couple of big things this week, and we'll get behind the scenes. All right, thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.